What's up?
Not much, getting set up now. Got the room open.
I almost have my stuff set up too. You don't need camera for this, do you? Or did you?
Nah, we don't need camera for this. We've got limited space on the thing anyway. The fucking thing takes up the whole screen, almost.
That'll make it like 10 times easier. Thank goodness. But I'll probably have to see the picture you're looking at, maybe the stream as you're doing it.
Yeah, that would be ideal. That way you could field questions and whatnot. Well,
Yeah,
let me
hold
get
on.
over
Let me see. Are
here.
you streaming YouTube or Twitch?
YouTube. I just like YouTube better. I don't get what. I don't know. Not a really big fan of.
YouTube's killing it. I mean, other than the like 1,000 for affiliate or whatever it is, it's pretty good. And then the 50 subs, I think, to stream. Other than that, it's pretty good.
When I got the affiliate back in the day, it didn't really do anything for me.
You did? YouTube?
Not on YouTube, on Twitch, but not. Well, actually, yeah, on YouTube too. Now I think about it, I did get that back in the day as well, and then I kind of let that
What
go.
happened to that YouTube channel?
I got rid of it because it had all those crazy people. You know, it had all that
So
fun stuff.
Periscope moved over, or what was it?
Some of those people still followed me over there, so it was like, let me just bury that channel entirely.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And you did that after Periscope came down, or after your Periscope came down?
Uh, a little of column A, a little of column B, and still people were like, "Oh yeah, I know you," and it's like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" Like 6 years later, people still know who the fuck I am and talk about that shit. So I don't know if I want to keep these. What would we call them? These lists here that I've put up instead of the, I don't know, the essay, whatever the fuck.
Hold on. I'm switching over to Wi-Fi. I don't know if
Okay,
you got cut out there for a second. I got cut out.
I'll wait. Wait while we get people in
All
here.
right. All right. Let's see. You didn't start the stream yet, did you?
Oh, the stream's totally on this moment.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Hold on. Let me switch over to the YouTube.
Okay. And then let me know if these brackets look good and, all that fun stuff.
It looks all right. I mean,
Are there any other
do
categories I
the
may want to
goal
sub in?
meta, RPG defense. Oh, so you're doing kind of a different thing entirely here.
Well, yeah, because any idiot can do, oh, wow, this unit's really good. Well, what is that unit really good for? It's a better way to, elaborate. Like, right off the bat, we could say, Diamond and Rapthorn are really good for GVG
I,
defense, things of
I
that
mean,
nature.
we could do like a tier list for dolphins and whatnot, and like they already have all the units, let's say, and they could choose which ones to whale out on later.
Right.
Let's say. So you could do this any which way.
Yeah, and I've got all. I mean, they have all the units already down here, so it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm obviously not gonna rank the ones I don't know jack shit about. Like they have some of the newer JP units down here. The EQ10 stuff. It's like, well, I've never used them. I haven't even read up on their tool set. I'm not. I'm not gonna touch those with a 10-foot pole. But I can tell you right away, just to start this off, I can tell you that we are going to take. Where is he here? I'm looking for him now.
I thought we were doing the tier list just for the 48-hour banners, or are we gonna go for the
Ah,
whole thing?
let's go through a good, because some people may actually get some other ones too. So right
Okay.
away,
Can we
as
start with the
Stark,
48 hour?
we
Let's
could,
start with the 48
yeah,
hour, and then it could morph into becoming the other lists. You could make two videos out of it, technically.
potentially, but I'm gonna go right away Stark is all the way at the fucking bottom. He needs a Blossom. He is not a very versatile unit. He is basically Royal Reptile with the heal and an attack up when he gets hit. He doesn't have any real capabilities to do damage unless he gets up close and personal.
I would agree with that, and he's kind of like Nocturnus and Sorrow in the case that he gets his own attack stacks eventually, so he builds up over the turns. He just has to take a few hits. So, I mean, just with a Stark, he scales really well with attack, and he is a physical unit. The more agility he has, the more attack he has, the less he misses, the more damage he does, because he's up against defense. So physical units usually scale much, much harder with their blossoms. Not always harder, but they tend to scale better with awakenings. They tend to scale better with their blossoms. So even if you already have a Stark, and you're looking to pull on the 48, he's still going to be pretty good when he does get his bloom. It's just not as highly as.
I mean, he's
not
been
as high as
he's been
others have
phased
rated.
out for the most part. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he used
you
to be
have no
used
reason.
for Blossoming Door 25, and I think like the higher version, and now it's if you have Zorro, you just replace him instead of having
Yeah, the
Stark.
higher version, it's weird because you can't keep them in lines. You have to move them off to the side and handle with like 1 and 2 for the Royal Reptile, and then take out the third one separate. And then people figured out a better strategy with the White King or Dragon Lord. They would keep them all in a line with Seraphi and like Thwarthog and Stump Chump.
Right.
And then they would just kill them that way. That was a lot more efficient. Now we have an even better one.
Yeah, now we have
all that is gone now. All that RNG's in the past. You don't have to risk all like crazy amounts of hits.
AA says Pack is back. That is true. He is back. And then the other one for his banner was Knock, and I would still consider Knock to be up there as meta. I don't see him scaling back too much because, like you and I have talked about before, he has scaling with stats. He gets his flat increases across the board the further the fight goes on, and he does his damage. So I mean, if you get the max awakening and you get the extra 5% crit on him, that's even better. That's great. I mean, if you get 3 awakenings on him, cool. But if you can get all 5, you've just opened him up for even more versatility in arena, PvE, the whole 9 yards. But he's still good even if you don't, because he messes with the turn order, and he could be good in any of these. So I mean, he could be good for GVG defense depending on how you set it up. He could be good for arena offense. So I mean, he's all over the board. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's literally like as Stark was, but he had a longer, way longer stint of viability.
And he's still kind of in there because every time we get some more rank ups and levels, his passives are still useful. Let's see. Now, which other ones did we have? We had Bones of Baramos and Dolemagus. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've only ever fought against Bones of Baramos once, and it was against Tukis. He had a Max Awaken one. The thing was resilient, and it did well on defense, but I feel like it would be in that category of potentially needs Max Awakening to do anything for Bones of Baramos.
Bones of Baramos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he might get something like, geez, I wouldn't use Bones of Baramos.
Yeah. I mean, it's like...
He used to be a good unit back in the day. Zamel single target that hit pretty hard. The whoosh was nice, even though it did less damage. His awakening wasn't boosted by it, but it was nice. Before everything was wisdom capped, it was all right. But yeah, it's been a long time. I'm pretty sure at this point he has enough attack stat that if you gave him a physical ability, it would probably hit harder with Brilliant than his actual self.
He's in that part where he's like, he needs Max Awakening to be good, or he just needs a Blossom at this point. So he's like teetering. He could go either way on this one, is how I feel.
Bone Baron? No. I mean, like, he could be like Vendragos. Vendragos had what? Kazam? Kazam's all you need, and, Vendragos
Yeah.
is good just 'cause of his agility. He could stun people. That was already pretty good. Stun is a great ability, a great counter to knock and a few other units. Right now, it seems like paralysis is all the rage. They seem to boost all the units that are, either demons with Valencia or, Sorrow is also weak to paralysis and a whole bunch of others. So, yeah, so
Now, Trop
it's
asks, are we considering force mechanics in these ratings?
forced mechanics.
Yeah, force mechanics is what he says.
Forced mechanics. I don't know what he means.
I mean, I think he means, are we going based off of like Sis Force, Frizz Force? Because if that's the case, I would probably put the A rank out of the Dragon Banner up pretty high, given the fact that he can.
Well, if they have the ability and you could use it in PvE, of course you consider it. If you're treating it like KSS, you're definitely pairing KSS with
Stella.
with what's her face, Stella,
Mm-hmm.
to boost him, then no, we're not considering it. We're not going to be like, oh, well, he has a Sizz element, and we currently have Sizz Force available, therefore KSS is a better unit.
But I would say we could put the buffers into like the BDEX range because they have the capacity to empower one unit greatly to cause a victory. But other than that, I wouldn't see much wins to them.
Is 20% all that much?
I don't know.
Though?
I mean, to be honest,
because there's some units that have abilities that could boost your damage by just 50%, but that takes up a whole action, and then you lose 100% of your damage.
Because I'm curious to see what would happen if I was to get that A rank and then do what I did to BDX Corvus, where I had Seraphi and Terry basically power up Elena, and then she went up there and crit Corvus for like 9,000.
All right, so
there's some interesting stuff there. I don't know. He makes a good point.
But yeah, I was looking at Bones of Baramos, and that was reminding me of what Bone Baron. Sorry, if you didn't notice, my brain was going that route.
Yeah,
that's how little I care about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah.
Did the comments not catch me doing that? I was moving about, so I wasn't entirely here the whole time. I had to move a car.
That's okay. Now, what would you say about Dolemagus, though? I mean, is he still considered meta because of core? Well, or not meta because Corvus is coming in?
You're familiar with units in games like MMOs or MOBAs that have high skill caps, right?
Yes.
So yeah, the unit itself, it's hard to rank them on a tier list because people either they don't know how to use it. And like the general power of the unit's not insane, but it has like a hacks ability. And if you get into the pocket with it, you know what I mean, and you know how to use it, it's insanely powerful. And if you don't, it's useless. Like you could be like Tropical Visions, and you could put your Dolemagus lined up for Crimson Cuts with another ally and absolutely get your shit destroyed. Or you could play a little bit more intelligently and put your unit apart from all the other units, and maybe he goes through, the discontinuum. Maybe you take a breath attack, knock yourself in such low range that at that point you're just taking, stuff like Crest Beam and instead of Doruora, like from D Bodon, Dragonoid Bodon. Mm-hmm. So it just comes down to the player, honestly. I think Dolemagus is broken either at very low HP or even very high HP. So I did talk to Malcolm, and this is going to be an interesting thing. I won't go into it too much because it's like speculation and not really tier list. But there might be a chance that we get to disable Awakenings. So if you did need the negative stats, if you did need the if you had too much resistance to clear a bit of content, too much agility from too much stats, too much HP, or whatever the case may be, you could actually lower it, potentially. So there's a chance in the future, that you could get a Max Awake Dolemagus and still play the low HP Dolemagus that I'm so crazy about for the bait strats, and have the best of both worlds. Because right now, the high HP Dolemagus with like what is it, Max Awakenings, he has like potentially 100% chance bind on Hobble or whatever it is, bind on weak opponents that are weak to that
Right.
status ailment. So if you know, all you need, if they're not bloomed, is 5 awake. And if they are bloomed, all you need is like 2 rolls on your claw, and you still have 100% chance for the bind, which is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good. So that's amazing for like guild v guild defense, I think. But for offense, and this is literally just me, but for offense, I prioritize having the low HP Dolemagus, and then you could go high HP for Corvus,
So
which is a
pretty
similar
much
kind.
he's meta because you can use him in a bunch of different roles if used
I could
correctly.
use him.
Right.
I could use if you're using him wrong, he isn't worth anything. You know,
Right.
if
You would put him
Tropical is
down with
using him, he's
Vistar.
not worth as much as if Tengetsu or me are using him or
Right.
something
So
like
for
that.
Tropical, it'd be like he needs a Blossom, and then for people who have skill and brains, he'd be meta.
But no, he's top tier. Like for Arena, the impact that he makes, he's better than Dolemagus. I mean, not Nocturnus.
Hmm.
Uh, and for PvE, it's debatable. You know, like Nocturnus has moments where his leadership's insane when it's paired with. That's one of the reasons why he's not getting phased out, right? His leadership's pretty good. So you pair him with Sorrow now, and Sorrow gets boosted for
Right.
his
Or you
distant.
pair him with Sorrow and Red Hood, and Red Hood gets a good buff and then goes up and smacks
Oh yeah,
somebody.
oh yeah. It's stupid what they could do together. So, and if you need to boost the Crimson Cuts, then you sacrifice a little bit of damage everywhere else, and you give the leadership to Sorrow, but not too big of a deal. Um, yeah, he's a great unit. You could still use him in Arena. You just got to build him right. Everyone wants to build damage, wants to build him with his sword or anything else. That's not how you do it. If you're in Arena, you give him agility, and that's it. You give him like the Pyramid Claws. Hopefully, you had a decent bit of attack or agility, both like a decent amount of agility rolled on that, and you give him a vest, and that's it. You can't miss. So that's kind of what you have to do. You just have to grin and bear it.
Alright, so I'm
Yeah,
definitely going to put him as meta because he can placate several different tiers here across the list depending on how
yeah.
he's used.
Dolemagus is used in PvE. There's like if you're doing like the first 3 turns trying to take like 0 damage against physical martial units in
He's your guy.
PvE. Yeah, it's niche, but it comes up enough that it's relevant. Yeah, so it's
Alright.
not like
So now
Nocturne.
let's hop over to Slime Tank. What do you think about him?
This one could use a little bit of awakenings, I think. I think does he get he gets spell reflect at 3 awake?
I believe it's at 3 Awakenings.
I'm not sure, so that's why I'm asking. So if it's not 3 awake, he's kind of the thing holding him back most is agility. You can't even build him with like he doesn't have a unique weapon, does he?
I don't remember him having a unique weapon. He might have something not, let's say, unique per se, but something that you could use to build around him. But he's like one of those units I very rarely see. I've seen him maybe 2 or 3
Uh
times.
oh, I forgot. You could probably move Bones of Baramos to GVG defense or like live arena.
I would
Live
say
action arena, for
GVG.
instance.
Yeah.
Well, stuff like Envenomate will still matter against live action PvP. So I know you don't have a category for it, so I'm just going to mention it anyway. But
Oh,
yeah,
we'll have that one day when we get there.
yeah,
Whenever that occurs. But I mean, if you have to force people into moving quickly and you envenomate them, and well, that would be very deadly. So that will be useful. But for right now, I'd say GVG defenses because that's the only place I've seen him that one time was GVG defense. You don't see him anywhere else. So that makes sense. Okay. And then for Slime Tank, I mean, I don't see. I mean, I fought against him, and he's just not very intimidating. He's not something I go, oh, I got to be very careful about this. Instead, it's just like, let me just take him out quickly. He's not really much of a threat, but I don't have the unit, and I've never seen him in PVE at all, so I really don't know how we would even rank the guy.
No, the guy actually does show up in PvP. I think for the Dragonoid Bot EX fight, he was actually, for a lot of people, was relevant there. I had a pretty crazy strat as for like RNG to try to clear that one, and I did, but it would have been like 1,000 times easier had I had the guy there. So
I was in the
he's
same boat. I did some
maintains
stupid
pretty
stuff.
good. He again, he lacks agility. It doesn't matter too much on PvE. And I think he's enough that he screws some people, lower level guilds on guild defense. I don't think higher level guilds have trouble with him. You just teach like sweet breath to somebody, or bring someone with sweet breath, and it doesn't matter that he has spell reflect. You just sleep him, and then he's gone.
Then he's
You know.
incapacitated. That's the rest of the fight for him.
But if he's under, what is it, 3 awake, then you just bring Bodon, and Bodon will use his snooze. Same difference.
Same thing, and then he's done. So he's got limited EX fights, and he's has some potential in GVG. At higher awakenings, he's more dangerous there, but that's about it for him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this also brings us to Seraphi, where I feel like Seraphi is still.
If you have her, it's important to pull on her. If you already have her like at least 2 awake, she's getting her in the pull is like absolutely useless. So if she's a 2 awake or higher, you really shouldn't be pulling on her at all, possibly. Unless if you just care about getting the 6K. So all of these could be caveated with, hey, you might not end up with Seraphi. You might just there's only like a 22%. Well, what's the chance of getting Seraphi for one of these?
25, 32, somewhere around there. Although I don't really trust those percentages.
It's just under 25, something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like
Wow.
24 of them, and then there's like something like that.
They say
And
those
then,
in these games, but I don't know if those are ever the exact odds. That's a whole nother story in itself.
we got Ghost of Dota in the chat here. How's it going, man?
Aussie version.
Aussie version here. But no, like, so you have to consider some of these are you're going for awakenings. Some of these are you're going for the unit. If you're going for the unit, Seraphi's the first one here, right? Even though what's his face exists, Young Terry exists.
But
you could still say
she's good, and she's a good pairing if you have him. I've bullied fights because of using both of those units, using Terry and Seraphi's collective
stuff
buffs.
requires both for a fight, and that's a unique case because you're sacrificing a lot of damage by bringing 2 units that are support.
Those are fights I'm looking to do where I'm looking to get a decisive KO quickly and to avoid most of the mechanics in the fight, like bringing Elena into. Have
you done Blossoming Door 34?
No, I haven't bothered with that. I need to.
You're aware of that one? Have you seen it before?
Is that like the caveat to 25, or is that something else?
It's the harder version of the Peacock fight. So they bring in an extra unit, basically, into that fight. So you know how most people just put in a unit with heavy frizz res and then Seraphi standing behind it, and they go for like 53 turns. The Peacock is...
Yeah, I've done that before. It's tedious as fuck. Yeah. I have done that.
I don't remember which stage it's in for the lower version, but the higher version's like 34 or something like that. And if you bring Seraphi and you bring Kid Terry, you could boost up your like Jessica with Kid Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And even though that Peacock has like heavy res, not heavy res, has like 2 or 3 stacks of spell res basically.
Mm-hmm.
You can still burst him down with the magic masher or whatever it's called. So you drop him down to like 7,900 HP or something like that, and then you hit him with the magic masher, and that usually does him in. You might have to have a few allies come in and do a little tick of damage for the finish. But I wasn't able to do that strategy before, and you still need Seraphi there to heal every turn, just with a passive heal. So that was one fight where I could bring Kid Terry and Seraphi, but I no longer have to do that stage because I could clear 40 every month. So I never have to do 34, 35 ever again.
That's nice.
Yeah. But, it's an option if you don't want to spend 53 plus turns, like 60 turns trying to clear that one every
So
time.
then you would still have her as being meta because she has multiple uses across the board for different
Oh, yeah.
EX, BD
Oh, yeah.
fights, the whole nine
And
yards.
she's never going to be not viable. She came out, what, the same time as Stark did, roughly?
I think like a couple weeks after a Stark, if I remember correctly, or maybe a month later.
Something, something like that, because they're supposed to be
Yeah.
paired together in a sense, one after the other. That's how they did it in JP. So even though, we didn't get her for our Valentine's Day, we got her from sort of some sort of like Chinese holiday or some other holiday that was
Some weird holiday. They did something just to pad it.
yeah, which the whole community was shouting for them to do, and they're like, okay, no one's complaining about this, so we'll just do it, which was great for us. But yeah, so if she gets a bloom roughly at the same time as Stark gets a bloom, because he's overdue, right? Uh,
I
yeah,
mean,
he'd be pretty
there's.
good.
We could
AP,
literally, right now, I could just throw a couple units into this bottom list that aren't part of that 48 that need that blossoming. That's. We'll get to that in a few.
All right, go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this guy needs a blossom. He's. Please give him a blossom. Give this guy a blossom, too? Could he get a blossom, please? Maybe. I mean, I know Royal Reptile, I think he eventually gets one, right?
They both have some niche uses that will still come up in blossoming doors even now. But yeah, they both need blossoms and they are useful for BDs at the same time.
Another two more I'd like to see get a blossom. I'd like to see this guy have one, and I'd also like to see this guy get one.
That guy has a blossom, doesn't he? The Halberd.
He does? Did he just get it recently?
He got it for JP.
Oh.
It's like the Sizz version of a Stark's 5-line slash.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And he gets
I didn't even know
self
that.
buff Sizz Force.
Oh.
Yeah, he gets Sizz Force and a few other
Well, we'll
things.
remove him from needing that. We're not even going to put him because he has one
Yeah,
eventually. It's going to be a while.
yeah,
But
he has use. I mean, technically, if you're missing good units, Marblin could still be used for the blossoming doors. But I'm never gonna bother with that unit ever again. I never bothered to max it either. So
yeah.
I got lucky with a max awake OKM. Others had, Elena to do the job, but oh well.
Well, speaking of another unit that we really don't need to do too much debate on, Jessica, as you mentioned, you
Jessica,
could use
yeah,
her. Yeah.
were you surprised they included her in the 48-hour banner? They got rid of Dragon Quest 6 and they put in Dragon Quest 8
I was.
for
Some
Jessica
people are
and
upset because Terry wasn't, they were hoping Terry would be in
I
one of
think
these
Barry may
banners.
be better than Angelo, but I'm not sure. I think Angelo's main use is against units like Rapthorn, probably. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't really upset when they were like, "Oh, we're switching,"
Jessica,
it out.
Jessica's usable even, with 0 awake, 1 awake. She's pretty good.
So if
So
you get
she's
an extra
definitely
awakening on her, it's like, oh, a little bit more MP, a little bit more boost, great,
agility.
Yeah, a little bit more
Agility.
agility.
She used to be too slow for some strats and she would require agility, but then her damage was stinted. So if you just had more awakenings for more agility, it was never a problem. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess going on with where is it? Dragon Quest 8. Why don't we rank Angelo?
Where is good old Angelo? I have only seen him like once or twice. Very,
He has
you know,
limited PvP potential. I don't know if he has PvE potential, does he?
I've only seen him in arena to be honest, and he was somebody who he could do some decent damage. He could really cost you some points if you weren't careful.
Yeah. I think Rapthorn, a few other units like that, he can kill certain units because he has a multi-hit crack ability. That's pretty good for his shield.
So
Pops
I
the
would put
shield.
him up in arena offense then, is where we would probably settle for him because I don't really know of any PVE for him, and I don't see
I
him
don't
in
know
GVG
any PvE.
defense.
I don't know any PvE, but yeah, And if he's max awakened, he could probably hit pretty hard. We just need to ask Sharkai if he
Like, hey,
probably
Shark Guy, once you're done being transphobic, could you help us out in pacing Angelo?
that's going to irritate him to no end because the whole thing about I guess putting your political opinion out there and signaling you have one about a subject is you get brownie points, and here we are giving him the opposite.
Yeah, we're like, take it away. Like, fuck you, Shark Guy.
Like he's like, but I did nothing wrong. I followed all the rules.
Ah, the rules mean shit here.
Yeah, the rules never. It was a lie. It was always a lie. Your fault for being naive or something.
So then, Rapthorn's pretty easy. Would you put him as strictly GVG defense, or would you give him some other caveat?
I would say GBG defense. He does have use trying to if you do bait Sorrow, you could do the multi hit on Sorrow. Finish him off at the end. He takes out other Rapthorns. So he does have like offensive use. You just bait and use him. He does. He's all around. He's a meta unit, but he's not. He's niche meta. He doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Not
God knows
necessarily.
Starfall loves him. I mean, I've definitely fought against him. He's no
Doesn't
walk in the park.
doesn't he do? He does spell res down too, right?
I think he
The
does. Yeah, spell res down. He's got the nullification for a hit. He's
I
got a
just,
decent amount of HP.
just the spell res down. I needed it to finish. What was it? No, I didn't need it, but it would have been helpful to have for the Cave of Trials Cruceless 10 or something like that. But I ended up just using Kid Terry. Ever since I got him, my spell damage went up so high
Right, so it's
that
like you don't really need him in there, and you've got one
no.
guy who can.
And you don't have to chance him because he does what RNG to try to spell res down, whereas Kid
Right,
Terry
where
just
it's a guaranteed chance it happens. You're getting that 10%, and
so basically what I'm saying is he has meta use. It's RNG and it's not as good as what's currently available. So he's used everywhere. He's used in guild v guild defense. You could technically use him on offense just with Voltron strats. He's an all around good unit. It's just niche, and I personally don't care too much for it. But it's not a bad unit to have, and the more awakenings you have, the better he is, for sure.
Gotcha. And then what was the other one? Was it the DKO? Was the one that went with his banner?
That one's needs a blossom. It's absolute. It's probably the worst unit out of all of these. He's super slow.
I haven't seen him since his banner. I mean, I think 1 or 2 weeks of arena when he first came out, and then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
He's too slow to do anything. He always was too slow, but as time went on, he really, really became too slow. Like the power creep on agility has been the most impactful thing on the game compared to all the other stats. It's not even funny. Like units are like most units are in the 500s range for being viable physical offense units. Like anything below that is not very good. Usually.
And then I think there was one more banner. We've got Old King Mortimer, where I never got him, so I really don't know too much about his ability. I think his leadership was equal
He's
to WK.
but 15%
Oh,
instead of
15.
10.
So he's basically he's going to be getting phased out even further than with the second Corvus coming out, because I think the normal Corvus's spell power is what 15% as well for leader.
Does the Mage Corvus have any utility, or is he just damage? Because I can't remember.
I don't know. I just know he's got the leadership ability, and other than that, I haven't
He
really.
has, he has a Psy Cannon, basically, and he has a dual Kaswoosh, which has high base damage instead of high wisdom scaling or something like that. And he has can't remember what his B rank ability is, but it might be utility. I just don't know.
Because I know the Fallen one has the Paralyze. He has that there, which is going to be a hard counter to Zoro, so that's going to be interesting. And then he's got his Sizz ability and one other like really devastating attack. But other than that, it's going to be interesting because I don't remember what his like awakening abilities are for him. Because obviously they want you to pull multiples.
So one of the things I would say for does Old King Mortimer boost wisdom or I can't remember him and Rapthorn had a similar use for Pruseless. I think he could also do spell res down. He does something. He also can
He
do
had
something.
some gimmick. I think he
Wisdom
had
up?
he
Is
had the
it wisdom up?
reflect. I think he had reflect if I remember correctly.
Well, let's be accurate about this, so we're
Yeah,
not
let me
giving.
actually pull up his thing on the database. Let me get the database up here.
Yeah, because he has some sort of utility, and we could make sure. I know Rapthorn is probably spell res down, but we'll have to double check him as well.
Let me find that database here. I don't have it saved. Oh, maybe is that it? There is a database here. Let's look. Oh, that's old crap. Does anybody
I'm
have the
just
link to the
checking game eight
database?
right now. Well, I'm just checking game eight. Looks like Mortimer. Let's see his B rank
Found it.
ability, and oh, hold on, not translating the page for whatever reason.
Let me
You found
undo.
it?
I've got the database here. I just have to undo the script blocking so I can see things on here.
Okay, so the ice shard just deals damage at 4 range, which is pretty good because it's 4 range. Um, the crack spell rarely puts your enemy to sleep, not so much utility. Okay, so explosion of desperation. This one randomly inflicts IO. Okay, bang type spell damage 5 times for an enemy. Rarely reduces spell resistance. So yes, this one does reduce spell res, and this is one of the ways you could clear Cruciblus 10 was by reducing the spell res before we went in for the
So one awakening gives raises wisdom for 3 turns. That's not bad. Let's see. 5 awakening raises spell potency by another 5. Lowers spell cost by 5. Lowering cost doesn't matter much.
what I know about this guy is he doesn't have guild v guild defense use, but he does have use for the leadership, which isn't like insane because there's other units that will be able to do what he does.
Right.
But
It's
he's
going to be
similar.
happening soon.
Yeah, he's similar to Rapthorn in the sense that both could probably do the spell res down. Let me double check
So maybe we
translating.
put him for like limited PVE.
But he doesn't do guild v guild defense. Some yeah PvE.
Yeah, I'd say limited PVE. So let me put him over there. See, this is what happens when we don't know something. We go look for the answer. We just don't randomly throw it on the board. You can
Well,
learn.
I had it in my head. I had an inkling of what it could have been, but I definitely wanted to double check because I can't.
Right, and I've never used the unit, so like, let me just pull up the database. Let's look here and see what he does, because I don't know jack shit about him.
Okay. So I discovered what Rapthorn's ability is. It's rarely increases damage taken.
That's still
So,
good.
huh?
That's still good. I mean, that's that
It's
that
still
has its
good, but it's
uses, but
ten
it's niche.
percent per stack. It's only 10% per stack. So it's technically not as much as spell res down if you're trying to go for Jessica's Magic Masher, but it works for all ability types. So it's like you could get it up to 3 stacks, 30% increased damage taken or something like that, versus the spell res down, which would be like drops the spell resistance by like up to 45%, I think, per stack, unless if it's not per stack, once when you have all 3 stacks, unless it, I don't know if it's 15% for each stack or 20. That would make the difference between like 45 or 60 at 3 stacks, something like that.
And then
So
there's
go
one
for it.
more. It's Vera, and I have her. I've never really ranked her up. Never really used her much. I've just I don't know. I've seen her used on arena offense before, but
I,
that's
I would
about it.
say if you're going to use her in arena offense, she's competing with other, martial units if she's on a martial team like Dolemagus, KSS, and that kind of stuff. She would probably need Max Awaken because most people have a Max Awaken KSS, I think. So she might need the Max Awaken. It would get her a lot of HP. Sizz and Crack are common elements, so she has a hard time because of it. She could be put asleep. A lot of stuff really gets to her.
Sleep and blind is also she's super weak to blind.
Yeah, blind's not relevant for arena, but yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing to have. But yeah,
Hmm. All right, so put her in that needs max awakening tier.
yeah, she could be good. It's just I don't know. She probably has some use, and you could probably use her one awake and get away with it for certain accounts, especially if you know how to use her. She has good movement, good range, typeless, a lot of good things about her. If she gets a bloom, she'll still have 4 movement when she does have her bloom, which
Right.
already puts her like leagues above other people. So that's not bad either. So if she does get a bloom, she would scale really well, just like any 4 movement character would. Uh, which is part of the reason why I like hybrid and units like that. So, all right, did we get all the 48-hour
I
banner
believe
units?
so. There was what, 6 banners? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Oh,
11,
UKM,
12. It was
Uber
UKM
Killing
as well?
Machine.
Okay.
Yeah, Uber Killing Machine. I think he could be technically used for guild v guild defense, but you could cheese him if he can't hit you. If there's pillars, he has a hard time. He might have some use PvE. Basically, his elements, I think, are a crack atomic blade. If you have overkilling machine, right?
I've never bothered to use him or level him up. I think he's just
But you have him,
pretty
right?
low. Yeah, I've never. I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't get him up there because, well, I considered him to be one of
So,
Trop's units, so I just wanted to take a shit on him.
so if you're looking at that ability right there, the B rank ability that you have out there for Vera, it's like that 3-line thing, but it's 1 tile closer, essentially. So that's the atomic blade range. That's the attack that he has.
Oh, he's super
For
weak to confuse. I love when units are super weak to confuse.
Yeah, yeah, that's good for you. He has an awkward kind of type. He's resistant to bang though, so if you're confusing him, you're not going to deal too much damage, but it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter because he's taken out of the fight for 2 turns, and
So let's look at
yeah.
Uber Killing Machine since you're already close, probably.
So let's see, Uber Killing Machine. Yeah, here's Uber Killing Machine. Let's look at him too.
Yeah, so the thing about Overkilling Machine is he has natural spell res for 2 turns, 2 stacks of it, I think. And Uber Killing Machine has physical res, which isn't as important, probably, but he is pretty tanky, for the first few turns. Alright, so he has a crack type physical, and it goes out in a line in front of him. If you could scroll to the left so people could see, like,
Let me see if I can do
the
that.
ranges for the abilities.
Let's see.
Yeah, so they could see the actual range of the attacks.
I'm
He
like
just moved.
covering my face now, like showing you guys off stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get a little bit of a line attack going that way. It's crack. It has decent. It has the same problem Overkilling Machine has. It just doesn't have enough range for that attack.
To
The
be viable.
overdrive, the overdrive has decent range, but if there's any obstruction other than like an ally, he could probably jump through allies, I think. But if there's any real obstruction, he can't actually hit the enemy, and it's in like a straight line, so you can't do it on a diagonal. It has to be on a straight line. It's just in front of him. So his biggest weakness is pillars.
So then,
You
where
know what
would
I
you place both of these robots then?
uh both of them need blossoms
I'd agree
already.
with that. I would.
Since they came out, they both needed blossoms. Overkilling Machine would have had a nice reign for a little bit when range wasn't as big of a problem when other units also sucked at range. But now everyone has range, so he lacks it. He needs a blossom. He would scale really hard because for arena, he has 2 stacks of attack up. So does Overkilling Machine. They both need blossoms. Just a different attack with more range, and then they would become viable. Both of them have decent attack stats. So if they, had a higher damaging ability, higher range, more potency, that's all they would need pretty much. And I have a max awaken OKM, so like pretty much if anyone could say he needs a blossom. It's me.
So you're like, yeah, I've got this guy to max, and it's just like, please give him something more because the utility isn't there.
I mean, the damage is there, the range isn't, and that's the problem. But the damage could
Well,
also
that's
be
the
better.
problem with S-Stark. The S-Stark doesn't really have any range. I mean, he's got a breath attack,
But
but that breath
he
doesn't
has
do anything.
a higher ratio on his attack. It's what 450 for the neutral. I don't remember how much it was for the Zam 420.
I think it was like 420.
Yeah, for OKM at plus 10, it's 375, so it's kind of weak.
Hmm.
That's the only problem. Otherwise, OKM has better attack stat. So, yeah. Did we cover all of the units that were?
I think we got all in the banners, like, and then we even did a couple other ones.
Yeah. Metal Dragon could be used for Blossoming Doors, EX fights, PvE.
So I'd say he's part of the units where it's blossom units that still have value, was where you would put Metal Dragon.
Yeah, you could do that. And
I think Squid too. And Dark Lord.
yeah,
I'm sad to
and
say I just don't have a use for Hybrid yet, even though I've maxed him out and almost max
he
blossomed him.
will have a use in live PvE because movement apparently is going to be pretty crazy for live PvE. That's what all the JP accounts are telling me.
So he's going to be
That's what.
really good part of the striker thing I'm setting up. So I guess technically he'll be strictly arena offense just for, well, let me make a note here.
You do Frizz Res down for PvE too. That's how I used to use him back when I used him for a few EX fights way, way, way back in the day.
But
And I'd
don't
use him for
most
the
units nowadays have like res guard and other things where you can't even do that anymore?
Do they?
I've noticed they started doing that after a while. Because remember when Hell Gladiator used to be like one of the best units in the game because of his poison down? So you would go in
Well,
there and
yeah,
just
I think
poison everything.
they stopped poison res down, but I don't see a reason to stop all the res downs. You know
I
what
don't
I
know if
mean?
they did or not. I'd have
They,
to
should,
mess with
they
it.
shouldn't do that. They did it for a few units. I was kind of pissed because it's like, but it's hybrid. It's like he's never going to have utility. Sure, okay, you don't want people to get poisoned. I think what they did for a lot of bosses is you poisoned them and then they healed. They like healed to max, and it was just like, okay, fine, I won't poison him.
Okay, so I'd probably put him for arena offense, but more for the live arena.
Oh, you would for Angelo.
No, for well, actually,
Angelo's
I
already
would
in.
probably he's already in there for arena offense, and then the hybrid would be in there as well, but he'd be more for
I
live
think
arena.
hybrid can have some use in PvE because if he had his breath giving him triple stacks, right? He would do a lot more damage in PvE than he could do in PvP.
That's true, and he'd live longer in PVE than PV.
So he probably could do both. It's not crazy or anything. If you have him taught with sweet breath, like I told a lot of people to teach him way back when, then he probably has some use in that. But yeah, yeah. Mine can sweet breath on the spell reflected slime tanks, so that's pretty funny. I still could use hybrid against those people. But yeah, I would definitely put him for live arena, like a separate category if you could make one. But
I'll just add
arena
it to here. Arena
slash.
offense / live.
It was funny because I was messaging Nadu on his live stream, and I said, "Oh, live PvP. What do you think about live PvP?" And I messaged him in Japanese, and he's like, "Live PvP." He was all confused. He's like, "I think that the term we're all using right now is real time uh, Tyson or something. I can't remember. So it's real time battle, basically, is what he was trying to say." And I was like, "Oh, okay." he was he was pretty specific about the term, but I guess that's what they called it in the. thing. Real-time strategy, real-time something. But yeah, live PvP sounds quicker. So that's probably what the community's going to call it.
Okay, got it. So we'll add him there. Condense that into one tier. And I guess we could start doing the die units. I mean, Hadler's a weird one. I would probably be unhappy with Hadler, but he's 50 weight as a Dark Lord. And he's got Sizz and Bang. But I don't think I've ever used him on any real PvE content.
But I've seen people use him on arena defense because he heals himself twice. He does some pretty crazy things, has decent range. Like, you try to come at him. If you don't kill him, he's pretty brutal. So I think, GVG, or, if you give him the max awake, he would be really nice for GVG. So he needs a max awake, maybe.
Well, here's the problem. If you don't have a max awakened already, it's, you're not getting that unit. There's no... You can pull him in the the anniversary. We don't even know if they're coming back, so it's
let's punish Square. Don't put him on the list. Don't put any of the die units on the list.
I agree. You know what? Let's keep them all off because they are like limited time. If you don't have them, you're fucked. The only one I would probably say we could put up there would be Human Baron, because it's safe to say everybody would have gotten him to max awaken unless you're like slow in the head.
Yeah.
But where would you put Human Baron then? Because we could use him in arena. We can use him for some fights because of his Giga Break and his Kazap and his Kasnooze. So he's not meta. I wouldn't give him meta, but he definitely could fall into a couple of different categories.
Bodon is arena offense. I use him for arena offense, and I use him for.
I definitely used him for arena offense because
PvE.
Well, we had that.
His app is amazing.
Oh, it's awesome, and his Giga Break, if he gets close, just messes people up.
Oh, I killed Dragonoid Bodon, who was half res on the He was half res to Zap, but I killed him with Giga Break on turn 3 because I got the turn 3 boost of like 50% damage, and I hit him for Giga Break, and he barely had any HP left, so I managed to kill him, which was pretty funny.
I accidentally... We should add another tier for units that need 3 to 5 awakening to be good, but can we even add another box? Like, I am a noob when it comes to
needs max awake already implies high awake.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's true.
So yeah, that should be 3+ awake. Just write 3+ awake.
Okay.
3+, awake. 3 or more. And that should be enough for that category.
Fuck you, Trop. He's a good sport. Okay, so there we go. That's there. So he's the only one we'll put up. The other die units, well, they're...
It's funny because now Vera doesn't fit into that category because it's almost implying that she gets something special at 3 awake, which she doesn't.
Well, then at that point, we probably put her into Needs a Blossom.
Offense. Offense. Put her into Needs a Blossom. Yeah.
Because she's part of that whole category.
Because everything's in constant motion, and even if it's not true today, it's basically true. Like in a month, she'll basically need a blossom or not be relevant.
And then we could say the same thing about Slineheart and Green Zaro. They both need a blossom as well.
Yep. Slineheart needs a blossom.
Yeah.
He used to have some limited PvE use. But it's been a minute. Because if a strategy takes 1% chance of clearing it with RNG, is that really a strategy anymore? No.
That's like what I'm doing with I just boost up my stats, hope Elena gets a crit, and that's my tactic. Well, if it doesn't get a crit, I don't win. But
that's like what? How much chance is that?
That's
for her
10
crit?
times better than Slineheart. So it's I guess it's the same thing, but it's just not as bad.
No, his
his RNG comes with the defense down, probably Brock's with his ability, and that's pretty much it. It's
That's
not
still awful.
crazy, but there's better units to use. Even with Max Awake, he
I mean, because
sucks.
you could
Needs
use
a Blossom.
Nocturne for defense down, hit the 6 times, and have a better chance of getting that than with Slyin'.
Hmm. Yeah. So Bot on is an interesting one because you put him in the offense, but the Giga Break is going to come into play for PvE, but I guess you can't put him into two
No, I can't
categories.
really put him in the 2 categories, so it's the one
Yeah.
that I would
Yeah.
use him
So
more in.
to highlight his use case, he's pretty much using Kazap mostly in arena just because it doesn't miss and he's slow. He's a 3 movement mage, basically. 3 movement with Kazap range is pretty crazy. Not a
And the
lot of
sleep
units have that.
as, a CC.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So that's why. Turn 3 he might Giga break somebody, but it's more for the Kazap than anything. All right, moving on. Who's next?
Let's see. This one's an easy one. We can put him in Blossom units that still have value, because True Lord Dragon form still isn't hurtful. I mean, people still use him for strategies.
Oh yeah, he's solid. He's solid. Guild v guild defense. He's pretty harsh. He has a lot of HP. The only unit that will have more HP than him is Creator God Madagazora or whatever his name is.
Oh wow. So,
Madagazora.
oh, speaking of which, let's see. Emperor Slime needs a goddamn Blossom. He needs
Oh yeah.
something. That poor little guy has been neglected for so long. I'm like, oh yeah, he's still there. Yeah, he exists.
What's that all-out battle Nimzo? I think if you're running out of heal units, I ended up actually. This was before Terry existed. I used him for which one? Which stage was it? It must have been actually EX fight for Nimzo. The very last stage, I used him because I already used Seraphi somewhere else. So I ended up using him for the very last fight because I just needed a healer. And he worked out for that. But there's better strats now. Don't use the crazy RNG strat that I had to use
You
to
don't
clear it.
have to if you don't need to.
No.
And,
No,
we
no, no,
keep
no.
that there. And
Yeah,
of
so he
course,
needs a Blossom.
I would say, Human Zaro's meta, that's an easy one to get out of the way. Nobody's going to disagree with that one.
Human Sorrows, yeah, he's top tier.
And then I would probably put Elena and Baramos as, Blossom units that still have value. Although, I don't know, I feel like Elena
Is capping out on her value because do you really want to rely on a crit strat now anymore these days?
No. So I mean, she's
But
got value, but it's her time will come.
it was a few months ago when I was just like I can't remember, but it was something recently came up where it's like, oh, if I had her for this one thing, I would have gotten Icon or something. But I think gone are the days now that Elena matters so much. I think she's overranked in most tier lists because they still have her at like 5 stars for Blossoms in like Japan, and that makes no sense. Like it should be 4 or 3. And I don't have the unit. You do have the unit, so you could probably testify to that. I don't know.
I'd say if I got a couple more awakenings on her, it wouldn't be hateful. It just add to her destructive power. But at some point, these developers have come to learn that you can kind of phase out some of these things after a while.
Well, it's not that she doesn't have use. It's just now so many other things don't rely as much on RNG, so it's more guaranteed and saves us time. And I'm all about saving time because there's a soft cap on this game. The soft cap was like the amount of time it took to clear something, and people just weren't willing to spend that time. And some were before, but now they're just like, no, I'd rather just not anymore. So yeah, so Elena kind of mishes into that category. The crit chance is not that bad. It's not that bad. I was recently trying to crit with Valencia, and her odds are a bit lower. I think it's just 10% plus, like the 1% and maybe like 2% if you have robes, or maybe if you got the 1 in 80,000 chance robe, you got the 4% like one of our members that I think exists.
Yeah, Exist got
the
that
perfect
crit robe. Lucky bastard.
That's insane. That's insane. Still, technically, the wisdom, statistically speaking, is going to be more useful. Having like a perfect wisdom roll, which actually another one of our members got that. So it was Celery. Celery got 777 for the he got the holy number for the robes.
Now he just needs to get better Wi-Fi.
Oh, he got a new phone
Oh, that's good.
and service. So yeah, we'll see. There's a chance the timer on his phone kicks him out, but other than that,
Oof.
you know, his service is fine. He just needs to edit the settings on his phone.
So now for this list, would we still technically put like KM and Dread Dragon into Needs a Blossom, even though we know their blossoms are coming? Because I mean, we haven't had time to really play with those ourselves and figure out if they're any good or
we
not.
could we could we could pretty much treat them how we know them. Like a lot of these units, we predicted they would be good just based on what we saw from JP, and we could
So I would
continue
say
doing this.
we could put KM and Dread Dragon in the Blossom units that still have value at that point because they are going to get some decent utility for their tool sets if you Blossom them.
I would just KM and Dread Dragon could probably be Blossom units that still have value. They're pretty. I mean, for a lot of PVE content, KM's actually going to be pretty meta for some of them, some of the fights.
Well, he gets really high attack value at 130. Plus, I mean, the Blossom and everything, so he's going to be up there in terms of attack power.
And like we have a lot of machines, inorganic units in the game, a lot more certainly than we do Dark Lords. So Sorrow just has an insanely high base attack, but as time goes on, the Family Master rank is going to make units like Killing Machine surpass, Astark, surpass all these other
Right, because I think
Dark
my
Lords.
organic's starting to get up there. I don't know what the exact level is, but I think my organic is either in the 40s or close to being in the 40s at this point.
It's almost, mine's already in the 40s, and a few levels away from, I guess, being 45, in which case you would get the same amount of attack that, say, beasts would. I
Because of
think
all the
beasts
beast
are at like
units they
70.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like 7% for the attack stat, which is crazy. I'll be there soon with the inorganics. Some people probably have already gotten it. But yeah, so 7% on attack is no joke. It's no joke. Yeah. So
And two more we could knock out pretty easily. I'd say King She Slime and Archdemon are Blossom units that still have value. I've definitely used Archdemon to clear the Mega Boss battle for
oh
not
yeah,
having
so
Veronica.
he's a good PV. He's just as good as KSS is for arena. Pretty much, he's an arena unit. He does have ranged kind of spell damage kind of use for PvE. But yeah, he's definitely he works out the same way that KSS does for PvP, and he's a little better for PvE than KSS is, because KSS has to hop into action, which is never a good thing. You kind of want him to stay back behind a pillar if there
Right,
is
because
one.
you hop into action, you're isolated. Next thing you know, that unit's dead.
Yeah, pretty much. So I kind of like Archdemon a little better. It's a little more consistent, but
Because he's got that range. He's got really good range on him.
yeah. At max awake, I think he's probably better than KSS, to be honest.
I'd say so.
He's just slower. And you could throw a claw on him if you need to at this cost of damage, but he's still going to hit harder than KSS would, even if he has claw. So
And he's
even
not gonna risk
no
himself
leadership,
either.
no leadership boosting him, he's still going to hit very, very hard. I think the ratio for his attack, his ranged attack, is a lot higher than the one that Rapthorn has for the Zam. So he deals way more damage with his arc kaboom than Rapthorn deals with the Zam. I can't remember. One's Starfall, the other one's the Comet attack or whatever.
Now let me ask you this: for Grandmaster Nimzo, I feel like I would put him in limited PVE, but what are your thoughts on?
Sure. Limited PvE, there's still content.
Because of his debuffs,
Recently.
his massive debuff. You think he's the only
Oh, yeah.
unit in the game still that has like that massive debuff down radius to it, or is there something else that got that?
Yeah, there was a recent fight, I think Dragon Master Bodon EX.
I
I
think that's
couldn't
where I
clear
used
that.
him actually.
I couldn't full clear that because I didn't have him. The only other option would have been to have a 2 awake. Uh, I think no 3 awake or below for Thwarthog. My Thwarthog was at max awake, so at 4 awake you have the heavy res for zap, and for the not Dragonoid, sorry, the Dragon Master bot on fight, it actually was a detriment to have the heavy res because he didn't target that unit. He goes for Dolemagus or something like that. So it was actually, there's no way I could go back in the past and undo my awakenings, right? Maybe in the future, like I told you that Malcolm said that they might be able to do something about that. He took the feedback to the devs because I told him like this I spent more on a unit and I got punished for it in a sense, right? And it's like I don't really spend that much money on this game, but there are probably whales out there that are like, what the hell? I can't even use my Thwarthog to clear this because it has too much resistance.
Oh
So,
yeah, I've definitely shot myself in the foot on some of those.
So Grandmaster Nimzo, it's very limited, but he still has PvE use, and he needs a Blossom at the same time, so he fits into both categories. He's very niche.
I agree. He could go either or. I mean, if he didn't have his massive attack down.
We don't have a lot of units in the limited PvE, so we're better off keeping him in that category.
Yeah, I agree, because he actually does fit there. And then I would say we've got Marquess and Dragor. Those are probably 2 that definitely need Blossoms.
Marquis de Leon, he has some limited use. I've used him before.
So you would lean more towards limited PvE since he has some capability. I have him. I don't use him.
So you use the Zap. It's because Bodon came out and Bodon deals so much damage that you don't really need the defense down with the Zap.
Yeah,
but
the
heal,
he got pushed out.
So the Zap, the heal helps. I would still say, Marquis for some accounts has limited PvE use just because the category is so small. But yeah, he has limited PvE use.
Are you guys
he could
doing
do the
a tier
defense
list
down.
thing? Sorry.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, no problem.
You can totally join in.
Yeah, no one's going to complain.
No, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. So, yeah, he could be there, the defense down, the Zap, he heals himself, and then he could do the Martial. He, applies the debuff, Martial res down or something to a bunch of enemies. Good leadership for, beasts and stuff that have Martial. He very, 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 very limited use. He's not in the same caliber as like Grandmaster Nimzo for a specific use.
Right.
This is more general. So he could fit into Needs a Bloom. He just doesn't have HP or agility. If his HP and agility were both higher, he would survive. And because you're often stuck picking between the two. Oh, do I give him HP? Do I give him agility? If I don't give him agility, he misses. Then he has no HP. He dies. So. He's a strange unit. Yeah.
So the
okay.
2 easy ones, I'd say, just to get them cleared out at this point, I'd put Terry
Prison
as meta,
Peacock.
and I'd put Diamond as GVG defense.
Kid Terry is meta. I don't know if...
Kid Terry. No, not actual Terry. Who the fuck uses actual Terry?
Yeah. No. Probably Avery.
I feel
and well, that's all she has, right? That's her main max wick unit. YouTube. Just watch YouTube.
Yeah, we're on right now.
Oh, you can't see on YouTube. You can't see the unpicked units.
No, I don't have the screen length.
Well, he'll announce them to us, and then we'll put them in. But Prism Peacock. Put Prism Peacock in Needs a Blossom, even though he already has one.
I completely disagree
Blossoming 2.0.
Which one?
I completely disagree with Metal Slimes or Diamond Slime. He's not really GVG defense.
Oh, I didn't even put him there. He just set them. Did you just set that down?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice you did that.
I don't know if he'd be meta either. He's like god of PvE, and also can be good in PvE or PvP arena. But he's the absolute PvE god. Like where's that category? I guess that would be meta because he just destroys PvE.
That is meta.
Yeah, that
meta
would be
mostly
meta.
has PvE.
Yeah, he's meta. I think he's better. He's better at that than he is at GVG defense. I think he's actually probably not that good because there's going to be ways to kill him instantly, and he's not a good offensive
There
threat
are
either.
ways,
So
but it's not bad. It just that it costs 50 weight, whereas like something like Rose Garden costs like 35. Yeah, sure, Rose
right,
Garden's dead immediately, but for high level accounts, so is Diamond Slime. Just the AOE
yeah,
Well, plus he
and
makes
I
it
think
to where
typeless
if
kills
you
him.
don't have a certain tank, he's your tank for that match, and it's a win.
yes, he's absolutely dominating as a tank. Once once we get some of these like CGM and Evil and Lucia, both of them will present a serious problem for Diamond Slime in PvP. So
Hmm.
when they come around, I think it would be a bad idea to have him on GBD defense in general because he'll just get one shot and be completely useless.
I
He'll
mean,
get
luckily
power
for us,
crept.
most people aren't looking at Evil and Lucia, or
Oh,
whatever her
Not
yeah,
name
yet.
but I
is.
know, but everyone's
I've
everyone's
I've
gonna
been
pull
like harping on
CGM though.
people.
Everyone's gonna have
Yeah,
CGM.
that's
So
true. I've been harping on people to get Evil and Lucia because I feel like she's going to hit the hardest possible on Diamond Slime. No one's going to come
she's
close.
way more specific though, and not CGM is gonna he's gonna be evergreen. Like he's gonna last forever. Some of these attackers the physical Corvus coming up. They're great, but they're not like these eternal units like Terry and Diamond Slime, and
Sure,
you know.
but Evil and Lucia is going to be like the hardest hitting typeless,
Oh
that
yeah,
we have in the game.
she's
Something
gonna
that,
be for a while. Yeah, she's gonna be the Diamond Slime killer.
even though her
But also,
scaling
I
for
mean,
her wisdom scaling isn't as high as some of the other units, but her wisdom's so high, and then she gets these other boosts to her stat. What is she has some sort of boost she gets? We shouldn't get
she
too
gets a
much into this because these are
15% flat
Right, because they're
damage
still
boost.
way, way out of. I mean, they're what
yeah, this is way out of the
4
meta
months
for the
out.
tier list. But yeah, so
She's probably like 2 months out at this point. But
Maybe if
yeah,
they accelerate
yeah.
things, which
Well, that's the
but
plan. They
yeah.
told us
So
that much.
for the time being, Diamond Slime is meta as
okay,
hell.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
And then would you say
and then
Veronica's meta as well because you could use for a bunch of different things, or was
Yeah,
yeah.
she's awesome. She's awesome.
Veronica's she has the P. What do you guys use her for? PvP,
I
PvE.
never
What
got
do you
her.
guys
I ended up
mostly
having to
use?
use Archdemon. I just know she's good. I've just
She's
Okay,
the best source of bang in the game.
okay, but
And
would you rather you know Archdemon's range, right? Like, would you rather have Archdemon in arena or her?
well, I'd rather have Archdemon
Archdemon.
because he's 50 weight and also he's got the range. But
Yeah, so
why not both? If you bring both, then Fallen Angel Corvus is screwed. Fucking Sorrow's screwed. Um, you know what I mean?
yeah, so
I mean,
there's
Fallen Angel's
different strats for killing.
a perfect enemy for me to go up against because he's weak to confuse and bang. So I mean, if I fight him, I'm bringing
Yeah.
Baramos.
Yeah. Fallen Angel Corvus's hard counter already exists. So
Thank God
Yeah,
for
the,
that.
the the thing about Fallen Angel Corvus is he's going to be able to rush in and kill Sorrow. Whereas with Veronica, you're going to have like Sorrow rush you and then you hit him. So it's a different kind of story.
And then I'll
So
scroll
I
down so
feel
you
like
guys can see
I
what
feel like the
list ranks we
Fallen
have
Angel
left.
Corvus is probably a little more consistent because it does do the paralysis. So he's going to be way, 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 way more meta. And that's coming out, what, tomorrow? The day after or
It's
something?
coming
I
out
can't remember.
tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, you could probably include it on this list then, in that case.
I'll find him. So where would you want me to put Fallen Angel?
Meta,
Okay.
probably ahead of Veronica. He's better than Veronica, you know. Yeah. Veronica makes that list, but I don't know. I'm never going to be a fan of control units that stay back. Control, as Meta puts it, but Metazoa puts it, but I just call them bait units. They stay back. There's a time and place. She's just 60 weight. She's probably good in PvE, PvP, but just not quite as good as Archdemon. So better for Sorrow than Archdemon is for sure because multi-hit. But yeah,
yeah, it's not reliable though. So
it's not.
I mean, it doesn't happen all the time.
Oh yeah, so it at least hits twice though,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't hit.
Off.
Yeah. Well, it's a dual kaboom, and then it has follow up hits. Yeah, something like that. So there's a chance it hits. So it definitely hits twice, and then there's a chance it hits more than that, right?
Oh, Trop wants us to rate the new
Do the dragons?
Yeah.
I figured he would have. I didn't even have to read the comment. I don't have the comments open, but I already know.
Well,
So,
that's good that you know your partner.
Yeah, so we have, let's see, I'm about to head off. Can you do the D?
Greynarl,
Otherwise-
he's extremely meta.
Oh, Kage, you probably don't want to do this one because he says he's going to watch the VOD tomorrow.
Oh,
I don't
You
need
want
his,
more viewership?
I don't care about that. I'm not fucking, Chase or some of these other losers who like depend on views to make a couple of dollars. I'm okay with doing it right now for him.
Well, it's more for the engagement. If you have engagement, it puts you out to more
If he
people.
wants
It's
more
not for the
engagement,
money.
I can give him my mother's number.
He'll have to find the cemetery and
Yeah, I'll have to go digging for it, but hey.
Barbados, I've actually like he's not as cool as Greynarl, but he's pretty damn good anyway. Like he, you know what I mean? Like he just came at the wrong time, but
Hot.
very funny. But his 3 Awakening is potentially super good on Guild GVG defense.
So would you put him more towards the needs 3 awaken to do anything, or would you put him in the GVG category?
If he's at 1 Awakening, he's very usable for, arena offense. If you got a bunch of Zam weak, he's very usable for, extremely usable for any PvE that's Zam weak, regardless of his Awakening. If he's at 3 Awakening, then he's super good at GVG, I think.
He fits into like any dragon team, right? Like the way that Great Dragon does.
The only difference between
element,
him
right?
and
They're both
Greynarl
Zam, one's
is
Kraken.
Well, Greynarl has a little bit better stats. Plus, Greynarl's turn 3 thing is automatic, whereas what's his name? Barbutus. He needs to be under 50% health.
Barbados.
So he's not as reliable in PvP, but and also Zap is a more valuable element to have now than Zam is.
So out of curiosity, between Barbados and Great Dragon,
I still put Great Dragon higher.
Oh, really?
Okay.
What do you say, Trop? Trop's in the comments. Do you think your Barbados is higher or less than your Great Dragon? Because you've used him on JP, not just global.
I don't know. He's about the same. He's in the same category as Barbados now. I think they're both really good. They're just different elements.
Yeah, but which one's stronger between the two? Like, I could definitely see in their own category, right? Like, how hard does GD hit the ice? How hard does Barbados hit the Zam?
Barbados
in their
hits
respective
Zam
category.
harder than I think he hits Zam harder than Great Dragon hits ice. But Great Dragon has the thing I like about him is his crazy high agility.
Yep.
So you would obviously put Great Dragon in Blossom units and still have value because of his tool set and his agility.
I think that you should have a Blossom units that are really fucking good as a category. Like that would be Great Dragon. That would be.
I put
Baramos,
him towards the front of the list. Then I would say
Archdemon.
He would be.
Yeah,
up
we
here.
could probably edit the list in later.
Yeah, or edit the let's say the ones on the left are the better ones in terms.
Yeah, Elena for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Dragon Lord probably comes up quite a lot. Let's see. Well, it depends.
Has value.
You could do it so that you could do it so like towards the right it's more arena, towards the left it's more PvE.
That's confusing as fuck. The ones on the left are better than the ones on the right. That's just
just do it by overall.
Overall,
and
so
I definitely think that True Form is better than him. Archdemon is better than him. KSS is better than him. That's just what I found out. I mean, one of the lesser. He's still useful, but not compared to most of the characters on that list. Archdemon for me is an absolute fucking god. I would put him like the best Blossom, but that's just me. That's how I use
Yeah,
him.
I mean, he's definitely saved me.
He's a
He's up
KSS
there.
because they both have the same range. He just doesn't hop into action, which is great.
I would definitely put him above KSS because he's got the ability to do the range damage and not expose himself.
Yeah, that's fine. That might come as a shock to a lot of people, but that's fine.
Did Trout need us to do more dragons?
I don't know.
Because there's Royal Reptile. So,
Does he even have a Blossom yet? Is he getting one?
he needs a Blossom desperately.
He gets a Blossom in JP. It's okay, I think.
Okay, but for right now, he's not getting it for a while. So, like, we can leave him in here. We could leave, technically, Hargon in here. And a couple
Kage,
others.
do you have Mortagon? You have Mortagon?
No, I don't have Mortagon. I just
But
know,
you know
he's weak to confusion, and I beat the shit out of him. And and Artea's Max Awakened Mortagon just ran around.
You remember how he had, like, this 5 dice kind of pattern for his attack?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically what Royal Reptile gets, but the Zap version, basically.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's just in front of him, so he doesn't technically... I don't think he has to target the middle tile. Is that how it works?
Now,
He could target the corner ones either, and that works just fine, which is going to give him range.
speaking of
I think I could be wrong.
Since I don't have him, where would you guys put him?
GVG defense, maybe PvE, because he's going to miss. He has no agility. That's his biggest weakness. Corvus and Hero and Lucia both have abilities that can't miss, even though they're physical attacks. So, and it's not because they're spells either. They're just physical attacks that ignore evasion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're sure hits. So
Wait, is that sure hit on his base chance to hit, as in 100%, or is it kind of like Nocturnus's, where it's a multi-hit chance? Like, does he have a 100% chance to hit 8 times with Catastrophe?
yeah, I assume so. Yeah. Yeah.
You know how multi-hits have a lower base chance, right?
A rank ones never do. It's only the B rank ones that do.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's true, because I've never seen an
So
A-rank.
yeah,
So Corvus, he's got so many weaknesses, but the fact that he's like extremely strong physically, like in terms of offense. Extremely.
yeah. So
He'll be the strongest
Trop-
offense in the game when he lands.
Who?
Fallen Angel Corvus.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. I could agree with that. Let's see. Mortagon needs awakening. That is true. Mortagon does need awakenings to do the whole GVG defense and PvE thing.
Yeah.
So maybe put him there.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He needs Artea to be good.
Okay.
Did somebody pass Artea in CP?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I mean, if they did, we'd never hear from
It's
them.
the one. It's the one thing he has going for him.
Ouch! Shots fired.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah. You can't say that he doesn't do well in that cat. What was that one thing? You were there for it, right? Nibs. When I attacked Kage, I was like, now you just need to be better at the game or something. The only thing holding back is your skill level. What was that conversation? What led up to that?
I think we were just generally talking about how you have to have both. It was just a text conversation. You have to have both whale and skill, and we were comparing
Kage was talking about acquiring other guilds and how he was becoming more of a threat in the community, and I was just like,
threat.
Yeah, yeah.
Why does he have to be a threat? Why can't he just be like a presence, an influence, a figure?
Yeah, I don't word these things for Kage. He does that for himself.
I guess if
but
he
I just
wants to be a
snapped in there.
threat, that's fine.
Yay!
But yeah.
Flight risk.
But yeah, I was like, So people were like, "Oh, does that concern you, Pack, or something? I'm just like, the only thing holding him back is his own skill level.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm not worried.
I think we were
But
talking
yeah,
about like
Artia is the same story,
like
but not
Jax,
quite.
like Jax, who had both Wayland skill.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
And now he has neither.
now he's been jaxed.
Yeah. It's funny because it's a misnomer because even Jaxed wasn't Jaxed, but that's the
How do you know
myth.
that?
I thought that was what we said, right? That his wife didn't technically make him. That was
I
it's a
don't think
myth.
that
A
was
myth.
ever
Myth.
disproven.
I think he
It was
said
never
that the U.S.
disproven, but
government
it's
made
never
him
been
do
proven.
it, but I don't know.
Right,
Jax,
like a myth.
Yeah.
Is a myth confirmed as being not true, or is it just a myth? Like a myth could be anything, really.
I don't know.
A
We don't have
legend,
enough
then,
evidence.
not a myth. Yeah, so the legend of Jax, it's not.
Yeah.
But what we colloquially understand as being Jaxed is still,
Still wife,
I mean,
spouse.
there's also the rumor where people think he's Artea, and Artea said he got divorced, so maybe
yeah.
it's Jax
Oh,
who got
yeah.
divorced.
We're
Oh,
basically
but
saying
Jax
that
is
he
like
couldn't have been.
their personalities are so different.
Their personalities are different, and if Jax was playing the game, he would be
Well,
killing it.
He would actually be
As
good at it.
Artea's
here's
account.
this though: has anybody actually heard Artea talk?
No
I'm
one had
sure
Jax
some
talk
people-
either.
We've heard Jax talk. He was on the podcast before with Platt and Laliette back in the day.
Oh, right. And he
I've
did
heard
videos.
his voice. Yeah, I've heard his voice before. Has anybody heard Artea's
I forgot what
voice?
it's. Maybe
He
in
sounds
their
like a
Discord.
federal
I don't know.
agent.
Huh.
I don't know what Artea sounds like, but maybe some people on his
guys.
Discord.
Hi guys.
How's it going?
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
I got all the shiny hearts.
Jesus Christ.
Is that good?
Oh,
Anyway.
fuck. Where would we put Ogdemir at? I have him. I have him at 0 weight getting, so I obviously don't use him.
Which needs a blossom.
Yeah, I'd put him down there too.
Because, you could already get the damage up from Rapthorn as well as other utility. You don't need Orgodemir, even though his chances, you could get it up to 60%, I think, for his...
And then
that's a global
knocking out some of
exclusive too,
these-
right? That's a global exclusive because he has confusion chance and he has a damage up chance on his ability, but in JP it only does one of those.
Huh.
The 20% you get by leveling it up. So that's a global exclusive. Whatever, he needs a blossom, but he would scale. Human Orgodemir would scale even better than Demon King Orgodemir would with the blossom. I'm just going to come out and say it. They might, they still could give them, a really nice treatment and make it the other way around.
Technically do some easy
But I'm pretty
ones.
sure.
We could definitely put all the brides as needs a blossom because they're actually getting one, so the game recognizes that. We could put all of them here.
Bianca's looks really good.
Yeah,
And
Bianca's
Deborah's looks
valuable.
good too, frankly. Deborah's looks okay.
I think Nira got the short end of the stick on that
Yeah.
one.
Deborah got
I think
like,
Deborah and Nira did, but that's just my opinion.
well,
Both of them
Deborah's
did.
still. I mean, she still didn't get the range, but she has like crazy powerful offensive power after her blossom. You know what I mean?
You
So
could
that can't
treat her
be
like
discounted.
you could treat her like a Sizz version of Elena in that case. Not as high,
Yes.
but
Yes, not as high
But,
agility, but higher attack power. Like she's gonna have crazy attack power. As long as you stay away from her, you're fine. But
And then, of
Yeah.
course, we can throw Malroth in here because he's getting a blossom. Ricard's actually getting a blossom.
Malroth is meta.
Malroth is meta. Even without the blossom, it's meta, so you
yeah.
have to put him in meta.
You're not wrong about that. I mean, he's on the lower end of it, but he saved my.
I don't
I
know.
mean, what is
He does everything. He does
BDEX?
guild
I mean,
to
you can put him
guild,
in
he does
BDEX fights because that's where he like rules at that.
No,
Yeah.
he's going to be in guild v guild defense. He's going to be in BDs once when he gets that blossom, and that's right around the corner. So he's meta. He does everything.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll put Hell Gladiator here because he needs a fucking blossom.
Useless,
Great
absolutely useless.
Troll, Night
Even after the blossom, it's not that good.
Needs a second blossom.
Great Troll sucks.
Albert needs his
Clubber's
too.
gonna get a really good Blossom.
Oh, the dual Cassiz with where Carrot's going to be really nice.
And then Giuliante has a decent Blossom, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she does. She's good.
All right,
She's good.
put her up there.
She's great on arena defense, actually. Just to kind of put a check on the Sorrows out there.
And then Queen Slime definitely needs hers. Did we miss any
It'll be
units
fairly
down here
okay. It'll be okay.
that needed
It'll
a Blossom?
basically be like KSS, maybe better, in my opinion. If you could get her to max awake.
And
Most people have
she's got a
KSS max
lot
awake.
of stats too. She's got tons of HP and agility.
I know this fucker Sanguine needs his fucking Blossom. God, that.
Are you going to
guy's
organize needs a Blossom by how good the Blossom is?
I'm putting it more towards along the lines of units that desperately need it. That like
Okay.
Estark is probably
Oh yeah,
very high up there. Zoma, WK,
Zoma for sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
White
Sorrow.
Yeah.
they
they
need
all
it
need
the
it.
most. Like, yeah, definitely Zorro. It's needed because some of these units, yeah, they need the Blossom, but they still have some.
Doesn't
versatility
Peacock already
to it.
has it? Didn't
Yeah, he does. But
Yeah, we were
that's-
joking and
he's
saying
joking.
he needs a 2.0.
another
Blossom.
one? Yeah,
He does. It's awful.
that's my highest S in terms of post awakening. I think I have like 18 post awakening fucking present Peacocks.
That's
Oh, jeez.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, couldn't be like Giuliante or Archdemon. Or something.
Well, that'd be capable, but no. And then where would Santa Elena be? Because I don't have her. I know she has a reflect. I've seen her do some things.
She's what, a PvP unit? Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, she can
She-
be used in a
will be
lot of
used.
EX fights and BD fights. I'd say that's where she belongs.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
put her ahead of the tank too, because she's newer.
Yeah, she's better than the tank.
Yeah. And then some of these other ones, I mean, Ruff, I think he needs a Blossom. I don't remember the last time
Yep.
anybody's
Yeah.
used his
Yep.
ass.
Needs a
Yep.
Blossom.
Gracios, he has some like CC to him. I
He-
see him used.
Yeah, some limited PvE. Some people were thinking about Guild v Guild with that, but I don't know. So
I've
he has some
seen him
limited
in
use.
GVG, and I just walk all over him. So it's just
You know, a lot of people don't have the 2-action clear on Dragon Quest One Battle Road 7. So if his thing ever comes back in Reminiscence, it's really easy to 2-action Gracchus's Battle Road. So just for that, he's a good unit
Yeah.
in my book.
And
Anyone that
then, let's
gets you free event medals is a good unit.
Oh fuck yeah. Kirill, he's got his Blossom, but I feel like he's towards like the back end. I haven't heard of
Yeah.
anybody.
He has
low-end
limited.
Blossom.
He's limited PvE with the Blossom, but yeah,
I'll put him in
Super limited.
because it's
Need more people there.
definitely need more
Yeah.
people there. Where would we say Valencia goes? Because she has her Blossom now.
Oh,
right?
she's amazing. I love her for PvP and I love her for PvE. She's pretty great. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Where would you lean
what
her
people
more
just-
towards then?
somewhere, it depends on awakenings, right? So she's stronger than Archdemon is. Like my Archdemon's 3 awake and my Valencia is only 1 awake. But I use Valencia probably a little more than I do Archdemon.
So you would probably put her
faster.
in Blossom units that still have value and put her ahead of Archdemon.
She's faster. She hits harder single target. I don't care about the crit in arena, so I don't count it. She has 15% damage reduction. She has pretty decent HP. So she's an all around good unit, I think, in my opinion. She's solid. She's solid.
How about
Not
this
everyone's gonna agree,
Dora
but
in
yeah.
Gray one? I don't. Did either of you guys pick up that?
The range was lacking for her abilities, so no, I didn't pick it up.
Probably limited PVE there on the low
Yeah.
end.
I'll put her above these two because she's a newer unit. Hopefully, she has some capabilities.
I
Her
think
A
Gracchus
version
might
is
be high.
awesome.
Yeah, the A
I think
version's
for-
great. I got that up. I even think I put some Awakening Plus in it too. It was
Yeah, same here. Tons of HP, pretty good damage, pretty good range for an A.
Could counter Sorrow, lock him down
Yeah.
potentially on guild v guild defense. Would be funny.
So then where would we put, let's do normal Nimzo next. Where do you think he would be at?
Oh, all I'm gonna say is Red Robin Hood, even though he's not in S rank, he should be on this list.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Yeah.
He's good. I agree with that, but I mean,
He's a PvP unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
He's top tier.
PvP.
I've been using him for waitlist week even. Like I'm not even joking. I've been using him waitlist week.
Look to see if they actually have him on here. Where the fuck is Red Hood?
Whose list is this anyway?
I have no fucking idea. I just grabbed whatever I could. This is me we're talking about.
How'd you find this?
Somebody in Discord gave me a link, and that is where
You should
we
just
went.
just do an entirely separate list for the A's.
Yeah, we'll do that at some point.
No. It's just to emphasize how good of an A he is. That he's just pseudo S rank.
He's not in there.
Yeah, I don't see
How?
him.
Like there's some newer units than even him. How's it even possible?
I'm
How they missed
confused
this guy?
how Santa Elena was in here, but we don't see Red Hood. Do you? I don't see him at all.
Well,
Well,
we're not
the
seeing
very
the whole
right
screen
side is cut off. I don't,
for us.
so-
Yeah, so I'm not even seeing it.
Are you able to
Like,
like,
if you could-
drag it a little
He
bit?
he
Maybe
he,
you're not
he
seeing
drags it, but
we're still cut off.
yeah, he's doing this. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what he
okay.
does. So yeah, it's
he's
missing.
not in there.
No,
Not in there.
and there's some.
Okay, well, honorable mention. He should be an S rank, and I would have put him like. Let's see. What do you have for your PvP so far?
I would probably put him above
Where are
Angelo
we?
in terms of PvP, just because of
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
He's a really good unit. You pair him up with Nock's leadership ability. He runs up there and he smacks some people in the mouth. So like when you need to use an A rank, he's the guy to go for. I mean, he may not even take one hit, so you have to get things cleared out quickly. But generally, he just cleans house,
Mm-hmm.
and he's even good for defense as well. He does throw some people off on defense. I've heard people say that my Red Hood killed them because of the agility build. He just like runs up first,
Yeah.
smacks some people, and they have nowhere to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, move this back over.
I don't know. I don't really use him on an offense. He's
He's amazing
the
on
enemy, and he can't usually one-shot them, and he's a little bit more frail.
Well,
the only A's
yeah,
I like
I
to
mean,
use in arena are what's her face, the Nature Girl,
okay, Claria.
or
I think she's
or
on this list. Claire.
Ma'am. I use Ma'am sometimes.
Yeah, Claria is usable as arena. She's right behind Bodon probably in terms of damage and stuff. So
There she is. I'll put her on
she's
there.
just she's squishier than Bodon, so she has to be really far back there. Even though she's 35 weight, so that's a trade-off.
And
She's
then-
right behind Bodon.
Still use
Vendor Ghost. Vendor
definitely
Ghost.
still. I think the one I use most is the Frost Dragon. I can't remember his name. The blue dragon dude.
For real?
Boreal
Yeah.
Serpent.
Yeah, he's pretty good still.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the best, but with
Not the
the
best.
breath teams, I would put him behind. Well, mine isn't max awake, so Kage, for you, Boreal,
My
you be the
Boreal
judge.
is
You be the
like-
final.
Well, I would put him higher because I have like an awakening plus 18 Boreal, something stupid, and
Right,
he
but
just
in terms of usage against in comparison to Claria, which one's better?
I would say because I have a lot of spellcasters, I don't really use her much, and I go for Boreal. But she's got the 4 move though. I mean, it's.
She
Yeah,
has
too,
4
but she
move,
has-
and the Kakrak. Kakrak has more range.
I would probably
on the
put
edges
her
of
up
it.
even though I don't use her as much, and my Boreal's stronger. I just feel like she's more of a threat. She's more of a presence in arena.
She's. I mean, she belongs in everything in the game. She's
Yeah.
the best A in the game right now. She can do BDEX fights. She can do.
Yeah, but for arena,
everything.
for arena, what's his face is stronger. Red Robin Hood, it's not even close. And if you do have a follow up from like Sorrow with the Crimson Cuts, if they're both hitting Frizz weak enemies, everyone's dead pretty much. And Red Robin Hood, I've done this crazy thing. So I hit Nocturnus with Red Robin Hood, and next to my Red Robin Hood was another unit. So he was left choosing, doing what's Nocturnus's attack? Devil's Finesse, because Red Robin Hood resists the whoosh, and I had 2 whoosh resistant units, so he was stuck. Either trying to Devil's Finesse on 2 units, which would split the damage and kill nobody, at least as far as he knew, or run over all the way to Dolemagus.
You could get unlucky and all of them hit Red Robin Hood, and that's a one-shot.
No. I didn't finish the thing. So I boosted his attack, and he had enough attack at that point to one-shot Dolemagus. So he ran over to Dolemagus, and he hit Dolemagus. So Red Robin Hood, there are some 200 IQ plays you could do with the boost, but usually his damage is so high, the boost doesn't matter. Like, if you kill them, it really doesn't matter. And if you boost like a martial unit, like, what's a martial unit that's weak to frizz or neutral at least? Definitely not KSS. He's resistant. There's a few martial units there that are weak.
Metal Dragon.
Yeah, Metal Dragon is a good one. Even though he has high defense, he gets hit pretty hard by Red Robin Hood.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a wash. There's a few others, but I can't just think of it off the top of my head for neutral and whatnot. But yeah,
I just know I keep Baramos away from him.
Yeah, Baramos. Yeah. Oh, the number of Baramoses I've killed with Red Robin Hood's pretty crazy.
Yep, I keep him away from. Yep, exactly. Now where would
Yeah.
we
So in terms of
Nimzo
arena, Red Robin Hood's ahead of Claria. And I'm just going to say that, and everyone else in Arena Watch.
Yeah, I would.
In terms of
Right,
arena,
so
in terms of the whole game.
Oh no, not
best
even
day of the
close.
game.
Yeah. All right. Who were you mentioning
Nimzo.
just now, Kaga?
All out battle.
Nimzo.
Yeah.
Limited PVE use.
I think I'd agree with that. I like his.
I would
spells,
put him roughly ahead of. I would put him ahead of the Lion, just because.
Dorian Gray.
Yeah, Doran Gray probably is behind Grakos.
He's going to be behind Monster Nimzo, though. Monster Nimzo is pretty useful.
Yeah. His
and the niche specific that he has is pretty crazy. It's just I'm assuming that everyone could max awaken the regular Nimzo. So
right,
all right, moving on.
The other one. So now we've got a couple more S units, and then just Nibs to clarify, we're keeping out the die units since they're limited edition, and we may never see them again. So we're not really going to be reading
that's
any
stupid.
of those, which
that's so
they
stupid.
didn't answer that question really well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's Square's fault. You know, they have themselves to blame. We'd totally put them on the tier list. I mean, not that they give a shit. But
where would you say Jade would be?
She's mostly, she could do arena as long as you have Kid Terry to boost her, and she's, people are rushing in. So if you're doing the bait strats, it works. If you're not, then it doesn't matter. So she's pretty terrible in arena. She's pretty terrible.
Not the greatest in arena.
She's not. But if you have a boost and they rush in and she hits them, then she's fine. But other than that, she's pretty terrible.
Like limited PvE because
I'm going with BDX fights. She's really good at those.
BD and EX fights.
Yeah,
she's a solid.
Yeah.
She's a solid mainstay in
good unit.
BDE.
Just doesn't have enough punch.
She's above all 3 of those, basically. She's above both of those two in BD and EX.
Super good at BDEX.
And then let's go for a disappointment. Where would you put Mr. Terry?
I have no idea.
I've never used him.
He's got a range.
He has to 3 awake. Put him at 3 awake. So needs 3 awake.
I would, yeah. I mean, if you didn't get him max awakened when you had him, he's probably not.
Oh, yeah. Carver?
Oh, Carver. Yeah, I meant to say Carver.
Oh, yeah. He's decent.
Limited PvE towards the bottom.
I'd probably put him somewhere like here, and then Terry needs 3 awake.
Yeah, he's not a mainstay PvE unit, but he has similar problems to Uber Killing Machine. His martial attack doesn't really do much in arena because if there's a pillar, he's pretty much screwed. He did have niche use for a while, but that's about it.
And then how about Yangus?
He's a mainstay.
He's better. He's
He's ahead of Santa Elena, but below
Yeah, he's
Jade.
BDEX. Yeah.
I've definitely used him to clear an EX fighter too with his ability. So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely, he's saved me. He actually saved me for getting Baron to max awaken. So
I'm sure Santa Elena would be just as good if she was like 5 awake as those other two. But I'm assuming everyone has Jade
right,
and
you know, if you don't have Jade and Yankees to max awakening, there's something wrong with you.
yeah.
Yes.
So we're obviously giving a little bias here, but
Well,
And then,
ease of access to awakenings is also a measurement of how good something is. So it's a fair.
and then speaking of that, where would we put Stella if she's actually on this list? Let me find her. I thought I saw her.
yeah,
There
she is.
she is. Okay.
She's next
Yeah,
to
she would
yeah.
be
She's pretty good. She's
BDEX
an arena
maybe.
and arena apparently. People use
Yeah,
her in arena. Yeah, so both.
Okay, so
might
now,
actually be at the bottom of meta.
you know what? I would probably put her at the bottom of meta just because she's the new S unit for right now, and you could farm her up, and she's got the Sizz Force to her. So I would leave her here.
Force plus Fallen Angel Corvus equals holy shit.
Yeah, so she's gonna have some use. So, and plus, we want to emphasize to people that you should probably be farming this unit right now and getting
Yes.
as many as you can.
And getting her awakenings to like agility and HP or something.
Yeah.
What are Fallen Angel Corvus's weaknesses anyway?
Same as Sorrow. Zap and bang.
Zap and bang. Really strange.
Strong.
So
He's
now,
strong to I think Zam and Frizz.
where would we put Gold Slime or Gold Gem or whatever the fuck this guy's? I don't even know.
Gem
what this guy's-
slime?
Yeah.
I don't know. Limited
Niche use in conjunction with other units in like maybe GVG defense, maybe limited PvP.
defense and limited. Both of those, yeah. Above Doran Gray and Carver for
He's
sure.
better than Carver
Probably
though.
Okay.
he's better than Mark Gracos probably.
Yeah,
or
he's
tied.
like probably right around Greymaster Nimzo, honestly.
No. You have to consider that regular Nimzo has easy access to Max Awake. So
Oh no!
I think he
Which
meant
one is
Mark West.
Grandmaster?
Oh,
Red is
Grandmaster's
the
the
Grandmaster.
red one with the spikes.
Oh no! Grandmaster is much better. Yeah.
Yeah. And then who's next? We got Maribel. She needs a blossom, I feel like.
needs a blossom.
And then I don't even remember this guy, Barbados or whatever. Is anybody? I don't remember the last time I've actually seen this guy.
Oh, needs a blossom. Blue Lucifer.
Yeah, it's like haven't
Oh.
seen him. How about Ashlyn? When's the last time anybody's seen Ashlyn being used?
She needs awakenings. Let's say she's close to where Terry is in power, probably maybe a bit better. She has some niche uses.
And then the Arena Knight. I feel like he's limited PvE. I have used him before, but very rarely.
Arena Knight.
Yeah, the Black
Oh
Knights.
yeah. Oh,
I've definitely
he has a.
Schwartz wants something.
He's probably below Yangus or tied with him.
Okay. Oh, in terms of BD, yeah, I would agree.
Yangus, so yeah,
Okay,
So.
good.
close to there. He has some niche uses in arena where you boost up attack for like 2 stacks at 50 weight. It's not bad. Moving on.
Purvis, where would we put him?
I mean, I've
Once he
probably
gets a
used the
blossom?
Schwarzschild more than Yangus, but whatever.
Once
Purvis.
Purvis gets a blossom, he's gonna fucking
he's-
rule.
He's pretty much getting it pretty soon, along
That's
with
good.
Malroth. So let's just count him as blossomed because it's somewhere around the
Okay.
corner.
Then he will be meta.
He'll
Then
be meta.
I'll add him up to meta then. And then let's say
But his
And-
main thing is being a sorrow killer. And
He's a double
it's,
zap attack, yeah, and probably below Grey Gnarl, but yeah.
okay.
And we haven't ordered the meta units yet, by the way. That they're
No, we really haven't ordered them. I've just put Zaro up there, and we haven't messed with them.
you should probably be there, but I would think there's some others that shouldn't.
Feel like
Terry's the second place, I think.
yeah, he's just got so much
yeah,
versatility.
he's pretty good.
And then some of these are debatable where they would be. I mean, after the top
I
three.
still, it's surprising.
Well,
I still not use Nocturnus a lot, but Dolemagus probably could be ahead of him. Same thing with
Dolemagus is
Jessica.
ahead. Yeah. Seraphi's still way the fuck up there.
I'd probably put her above Jessica because you'd use her more than
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes. Jessica, I think, would be below Diamond
Veronica.
I think for
Slime.
low level accounts, Jessica's better. If you have all three of the units, Terry, Jessica, and Seraphi, you're probably and you don't have a whole lot of other units to one shot things. Jessica's just one shotting some
So,
certain stuff
Ahmed
is
asked who is
pretty
better,
good.
Vanilla Elena or Santa Elena, and I would probably say Vanilla
Santa,
Elena.
Vanilla for sure.
really?
Yeah, I'd say. Well,
No,
I would say she's
depends.
saved my bacon with the Blossom, but if Santa Elena had a Blossom, I'd say Santa would be better.
Probably.
I'd put Grey Gnarl and Malroth ahead of what's her face, Veronica.
Veronica, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree with that. And then who do we
I would
have
put
left?
Malroth ahead of Greynarl, but Greynarl's good for more awakenings. Probably a
I'm
better
actually
unit.
going to give it to Malroth because he's stuck it out this entire time.
Yeah, he's
All right.
super. He's good at.
He's going to
the whole
be
fucking
pretty
game.
crazy. It's going to be. You're going to see with the Blossom. It's going to
Grey
be
Gnarl
crazy.
is like ultra good now, but he's gonna get power crept so bad.
Now, what about Forest and Dimension Dragon? Are they in the Needs of Blossom category at this point?
Yeah, because they're going to get their blossoms. It's around the corner, but it's going to take
And
a while.
then
Forest Dragon and who?
She needs one as well. Dimension Dragon.
Yeah, Forest
Oh.
is gonna be decent. Blossom.
Same thing with Dimension's going to be pretty good too.
And
So
then the girl with the purple hat, Personal, or I forget what her name is.
Coronal.
Yeah. I would say she's in the Needs of Blossom category too.
Yeah, she's probably on the same tier as what's her face, Maribel.
Gotcha.
yeah.
And then the last
yeah.
one for, well, until we get to the last two, there's two more after this. Let's see, where would we put her? Because she has her Blossom now. But I haven't played, I think,
No, it's terrible.
Oh.
She needs a blossom.
Oh,
She needs a
God.
blossom, even though getting a blossom. It's not terrible.
So I
but
made
she
a
needs
good
a blossom.
investment by ignoring her, then, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, she's ahead of Peacock. She's better than Peacock
Yeah,
for sure. But
and then what would we
but
say
she-
about Eric and Sagittarius?
Sagittarius can be like if he's on an inorganic team with the new guy that's coming up.
it's a solid defense. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of agility and attack and a multi-hit, big AOE. So
I'd put him.
He's
down
good
as
on
a
PvE
defense.
and GVG. Both of those are pretty good for him.
not meta, but he's
Yeah, I'd
useful.
definitely add him to defense. I mean, I've had a tough time
Hmm.
fighting against him. And then
Yes.
where would we put Eric? Would we put him in defense because of his
He's
evasion?
like
He's defense and
Kick-ass.
offense.
he's
if
like a
you have high
kick-ass
awake.
arena unit.
So
I would probably,
yeah, he's a good arena unit. He needs high awakes though. I think. He gets some special perks with it, and he's better than all those needs a awake. So if you put him at he's above Mordegon for sure.
Yeah, he'd be the best needs awakening, I guess.
By
that's
far, it's not even-
about it for him. Just double check to see if I missed any down here. I mean, these other units aren't even in yet, so we're not going to count them. Oh, we did have the one other Corvus. We said base Corvus was going to be meta.
The spell Corvus. I don't
Yeah.
know about meta.
Or because we don't
You
have
need
any.
if he's max awaken, he's absolutely meta.
So yeah, he needs
If
awakenings.
not, then he's probably more like a BDEX.
I would okay for right now. I'd say leave him in the middle, like maybe I guess a little bit higher than the Angus until we get to really see what he's gonna be capable of.
If he gets that full awakening, then he makes the best use out of his perks, and would be freaking awesome on GVG offense or defense.
What is max awaken? 3 and 5. What does that get him?
Well, if the perk that he's utilizing is his 30% negate damage, and so you pump his HP up and up and up, and that 30% becomes a decently high number. Um, added to that, I think Metazoa was saying that he just scales really hard with wisdom.
I don't know, because he had high base damage for his dual Kaswoosh, so I thought he scales better with HP.
Well, just the fact that it's dual is swoosh. The more you pump that, just would just
Sure,
scale out
sure.
of control.
Yeah, it had. Let me look up the Voix database really quick. Look, this is an interesting case look for a unit. Probably the most interesting out of everyone here. His damage scaling on his abilities are pretty stupid.
So at 3
Um,
awakening, increases spell power and effect 3 turns at the start of action for even turns. So on turn 2, he's already both spell power and effect. So I'm guessing potency to his skills.
Effect is like yeah, like if it heals him or something, it goes up.
So
Okay, so look at this. Look, 237.5. No other ability has that, right? And this hits twice. So it's 0.25% wisdom twice. So it's 0.5%. That's very low. 0.5% wisdom is extremely low. But look, it has 237.5 for the formula. That's pretty high for base damage.
I guess it's the opposite of scaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the opposite of scale.
I think what Meta's talking about is that 3 awakening skill. Then
look up his typeless ability. Look up his typeless. Yeah, that one scales a bit differently. The wisdom cap's also fairly low for this.
That could be a diamond slime killer.
Wisdom cap for this one's 801.
It could be a diamond slime killer. Evil and Lucia still hits harder, even though it has a weaker formula. Surprisingly, maybe it's because of that 15%, but yeah.
And then if you get all 5 awakenings, he gets another base 100 HP on top of the stats that you get. So you get 1200 from max awakening at level 80 plus the 100 plus whatever HP you put on him, and that 30% negation becomes 600, 700, 800 damage. And does that apply to multi-hits? Probably. So he's weak to Sizz, but all 8 hits of Catastrophe would just bounce right off of him.
Well, yeah, basically. So he would take no damage. That's why I'm saying
he would take no damage from Devil's Finesse. He would take no damage from Sagittarius.
This is why in Guild v Guild defense he scales the best with HP, because he takes he would be insanely powerful. He has high base damage, so his whoosh attack is still good with no wisdom added to him. If you want him to scale better with the typeless ability, you have to give him wisdom. If you want him to scale better with the other ability, I mean, he already gets it regardless with the base damage, so you might as well build him HP.
Might as well just go full HP, yeah.
Yeah, so he's similar to Bodon in the fact that they both have like Kazap, Kaswoosh range, but they both move 3.
Oh, so and he resists fucking bang and zap, so if
he's a whoosh Bodon, but way, 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 way better.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And so his resistances, you can put him right next to your Sorrow or your other Fallen Angel, and present an issue.
So we're safe to say we've done a pretty good job of categorizing all this. It's gotten so big I can't even fit him on the fucking screen anymore.
Good luck with that thumbnail.
I don't care about any of
that. Yeah, I mean, we could put in the die units now if you want, just even though we said we wouldn't, but or we could talk about them. Like Dragonoid Bodon scales well with Sorrow leadership. That's about it, stuff like that. Dragonoid is pretty good.
Back to the game, because fuck it on that. But anyway,
yeah, I think
like we've covered some good ground here.
Yep.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna go to bed soon because I have work in the morning. It is 12:20 where I'm at. God damn. We went on for, how long did we do this for? Almost 2 hours. Did this for 2 hours. That's how you get Nibs to do more than an hour show. You got to bait him in here.
It has to be late at night.
Has to be late at night.
After my kid's asleep.
That's what Robitussin's for, my friend.
Okay.
Alright, on that note, I'm going to kill this here now, you guys. Enjoy it. I'll have a screenshot of what we have posted around. If anybody does get back to Chase, tell him that the closest he's going to get to a woman is what he had on the screen, and that you're still just friends, and I hate your tier list. You have a good night, guys.